Hello, my dears. It is so lovely to connect with all of you. I'm really excited about this video. I'm recording in the afternoon, which is unheard of for me. But this is a part two to actually two videos, actually like almost three videos. So this is a follow-up to my Soulmates, Soul Matches, Twin Flames, and Archetypes video, as well as my Relationships Are Drastically Changing video, as well as we're going to talk a little bit about Soul Matches again. So my 2024 to 2027 video, the changing of the guides. I'm putting the link for all of those videos below. So although you don't have to watch them to understand what we talk about here, this is a part two. This is a bit of a follow-up. I received so much beautiful feedback from these videos, and the relationships video was based off of the astrology when the North Node was transiting in Aries, the South Node was transiting in Libra, so we were going into that more independent space and releasing in the house of relationships on the general astrological wheel. Right now, we're transcending the astrology. This isn't just about the astrology. This is more about choosing from vibration. We get to choose. We talked a little bit this week in our live about free will versus divine will, and how we get to decide based on our vibration what it is that we want. It's like the parable of like walking up to the pastry case and being like, do I choose the healthier option? Do I choose the not healthier option? Am I, going to go down this timeline if I choose this, or go down the timeline if I choose this? Just say, I'm choosing a pastry. I'm choosing a pastry. We go above it. We base it off of our vibration to say, I've decided that I'm keen for a pastry, so I'm going to get a pastry. And then you get to decide under that umbrella what it is that works best for me. So I'm highlighting today a few key comments that I received to really open up that dialogue in a really lovely and wonderful way. I want this conversation to continue for all of us because, like I've said before, and like my disclaimer always says, like, I am not the guru. I am not the one to, like, anything I can do, you can do. I want to offer insight. I want to offer my opinion, my perspective. Nothing that I say is doctrine. Nothing that I say is the end all to be all. I don't ever want it to be. That's never my intention. My intention is always for my videos is to offer you the most accessible information for the highest and greatest good for all involved and invested, with no intentional harm coming to any. I want this to be for my greatest good and for your greatest good as well. Very Pam Gregory, if you will. But today, I really want us to open up the dialogue. The relationships video, the soulmate, soul match video was about how clickbaity these words can become and how, in a sense, dangerous they can be, where we say, well, this person is my soulmate, so I have to be with them because they're my soulmate. Yo, my cat is my soulmate. My family members are my soulmates. I've had friendships that are soulmates. We're going to talk about friendships in this, but there's a phrase that I really want you to ask yourself, depending on where you are, depending on what's coming up, and we'll talk about it more when we talk about friendships, but is this person allowing me to be myself? Am I allowed to be myself in this relationship, in this exchange? And they're not saying things like, and if this is your first time here, welcome. This is my Multidimensional Caffè. It's you and I having coffee and tea, and we're talking about the awakening of the planet. And I really work with, leaders of the new earth, and really people that are stepping into their sovereignty, their energetic vibration, and really just doing the best they can with the tools that they've got. So I have a cup of calm tea with an uncomfortable amount of coconut sugar in it right now. I've already had my coffee for the day, and it's just like, we're good. We don't need any more stimuli. So we're going to start out with a comment that I received talking about self-love versus self-compassion. And again, this is that's what I was going to say. We speak from I statements around here. So I'll share my perspective and opinion. I'm sharing the perspective and opinions of other people. And so when you share in the comments, and that's part of the guidelines for the channel, speak from I statements. How do you feel about this? How is this coming up in your life? And let's continue with this dialogue. If you are going through something, if we weren't meant to experience some version of relationships in this world, we would be consciousness up in space. We would not be human beings. As human beings, we're meant to experience life with each other. It was funny, I was chatting with an old neighbor yesterday. I went back to my old city. It was very interesting. And we referenced the book, oh my God, what was it? Into the Wild, where at the very end of the book, the gentleman that was like living by himself in the woods had really, like right before he died, had written down like some version of, and please, if you know the quote, please comment it below, that this life is meant to be experienced with others. There's nothing in this world worth having alone. If we were meant to be completely without any version of a relationship, we would not be on this planet. We would be consciousness. The reason that the earth is here is to experience polarity. Like that's literally earth school, is that God, unity, consciousness, whatever it may be, got bored, wanted to experience itself, and that's what the earth is, in my perspective and opinion, in like kind of like a nutshell. And so we get to discern what works for us and what doesn't work for us, where our vibration is and what we're sharing with others. So I really want to start off with this comment on self-love versus self-compassion, because the first relationship, the most important relationship that we have, is the one that we have with ourselves. Above all, the way that we feel about ourselves, that is going to determine everything that happens within our lives. So I'm going to read this comment. I think it's, I don't know if it's verbatim. I copied the majority of it, but I'm really grateful for this comment. Even though it is certainly good if you can feel self-love, I think having to have self-love can put you under pressure, because if self-love becomes a goal that you can't achieve for whatsoever reason, then unfortunately it can also lead to self-devaluation, and that's not helpful. That's what I think it's better to feel self-compassion, because it can help to accept one's own imperfection, and the imperfection from the soul matches too. Hope you can understand what I mean. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So really recognizing that in many different seasons of life, we might not be able to, and this goes into a whole nother rabbit hole of the power of words and the power of how we feel about ourselves. If we cannot go to the word self-love or the word love when we think of ourselves, then I really love that compassion. It's almost, as I'm talking to you, this really beautiful way of having compassion. It's like almost a little bit more spiritual. It's like from a higher perspective is what I'm basically saying. And as I'm talking to you, like my guides show me pictures and images over here. So if I'm ever staring off into the TISM space, I'm just getting visuals from my guidance team, and they're integrating just certain messages into this reading. And so when we are doing anything, when we're manifesting, when we're calling something in, if there's ever confusion, if there's ever like that, again, free will versus divine will, if you're like, oh my God, I don't know what this is, we go above it or around it. Like the parable that I gave at the beginning, I'm choosing a pastry. I'm choosing a pastry. What if I can't love with myself? What if I really don't like myself? What if this, what if this, what if this? I have compassion for myself. I can hold myself. That's a higher perspective. Although love, the word love is one of the highest frequencies in the human world, sometimes when we experience maybe damaging things from earlier experiences, where love as a child was labeled as, I'm getting yelled at, but my parents were supposed to love me, but they didn't. So love, we equate to yelling, we equate to diminishing, we equate to something else. So finding the word that really resonates with you, and this comment was talking about self-compassion. It was interesting because it was like a day or so after I commented back and I said I'm putting this kind of like on the vision board to talk about, I saw this post on Instagram about what self-compassion can look like. And this was posted, I want to say it was like closer to Easter or something, and it was really like it was just like this cute little Instagram post. I'll see if I can find it and put it below. I'll try to link it below, because it was like, just accepting yourself. When we go through the stages of grief, acceptance is the last stage of just, I don't find myself to be perfect. I can't utilize the word self-love. That to me is so beautiful. And I loved that perspective. and really asking yourself. And it's something that comes up a lot in specific client sessions, whereas I like to know what language you speak when it comes to spirituality or religion. What side of the spectrum are you on? Like I say in most of my videos, I use the term God brazenly. Source, universe, spirit, all that is, same energy, same vibration. But for a lot of people, the term God has its own connotation to it. It could be negative. I think I've mentioned in other videos, like the word prayer for some people has a lot of attachments to it, has a lot of different, like if your brain is this like file cabinet, you say God, and then it's like file. This, file. Prayer, file. Love, file. So going above it, around it, below it, to the side of it, and finding the word that says, I've got me. I'm so excited about this. I'm happy to be, I have compassion for myself. I accept myself as I am right now. And, if this is your first time here, we have a growth mindset. That's one of the lenses that I speak through, is having a growth mindset. So although we can say, I am enough, we know that we are always developing and growing. Also, when you have a growth mindset, you're not in competition with anyone else on this planet but the you of your last breath. So if our intention for each day is to, if you're not working towards self-love, that's amazing. Going towards a word that resonates with you, that says this relationship that I have with me, that my consciousness has with my human avatar, with my human body, that relationship, it's doing very well. My consciousness is so keen to be with myself. It's why I always recommend to people, it's not like, oh, I'm alone. Or just like when you go out to dinner, it's just like, oh, just one. It's like, I'm with myself. I'm not by myself. I'm with myself. I'm taking myself out. I'm being with me. And the more that you enjoy the time with yourself, the more, and it might not be, if this is really if this is a big theme for you right now, it might not be that you're focused on finding a partner. It might not be that you're focused on finding a soul match, a soulmate, a twin flame in any capacity, because we attract based off of our vibration. And so there's many seasons of my human life. I've lived 38 years from my human life that I've been open to meeting a soul match, and that I've been really focused on really enjoying the time that I spend with myself. So it really doesn't matter. It could be one day today, one day tomorrow, and it can shift over time. But really getting to enjoy the time that you spend with yourself. And I really want that to be something very important that we honor, because and this is where really like the 2024 to 2027, the changing of the guides, that there's like a few different energy vibrations, soul matches. That's where that term soul matches kind of came into, where maybe it's like 8 out of 10, it kind of works, like it's okay, it's fine. You're going to have someone that feels the exact same way about you. That's it. That's just the laws of this universe, is that energy, like the energies of this universe, you have to have that vibrational match to match with a person. And so if we're at a place where self-compassion is important, really having self-compassion for yourself and being in that energy is a beautiful thing. I want to highlight that question that I had referenced. Is this person allowing me to be myself? We're going to start to parlay over to friendships after this, because if you're in a relationship and you're not really in love with yourself and you have self-compassion for yourself and you're in a relationship with another and they're working on themselves as well, but they're not allowing you to be yourself, that's something to look at. It's definitely, I'm going to go to friends afterwards, because this is parlaying over to another comment that I got from a friend who texted me after. And also, I just want to time out and say, if you ever don't feel comfortable to comment on YouTube, you can always send me an email and just say, this is how I feel. So I have people that reach out, they'll DM me on Instagram, like all different places that you can reach out, but you don't have to be a part of that open discussion. If you'd like to just say, hey, I mean, obviously it's email, so I'll know who it is, but like you can say, hey, I just wanted to leave like an anonymous, like, hey, could you talk about this? You're more than welcome to do that. Wherever you feel good about engaging, I want you to be a part of it. So I'm going to skip over friends. We'll get to soul friends because that's an important one. But is this person allowing me to be myself? This is, talking about soul matches again. What about the possibility of being able to up-level yourself alongside a partner? This person knows that, I really enjoy leadership content, so they highlighted Layla and Alex Hormozi. I know so many people that were able to get to their highest timeline alongside their partner and were able to create something far beyond anything that they could have created alone. Thank you so much for this, perspective. It just kind of blew my mind. And so Layla and Alex Hormozi, I don't know their full story, but I like what they've done now. Basically, they met at a point where they were both big dreams, big goals, all of these entrepreneur. I think it's acquisition.com. They just millions, if not going on billions of dollars that they're together co-ruling, 50% owner. She's the CEO of the company, so many different things. And so when they met, both of them up-leveled exponentially, just like my friend said, could not have done it on their own. It had to be that team effort. And so we could really open up a discussion with someone outside could say, oh, well, that's what a soulmate is. That's what a soulmate is, or that's what a soul match is, or that's what this is. And that language can make you think, well, I haven't met that person yet, so I'm less than. If that's the archetype, and we talk about archetype in the soul match video, if that archetype, I see it in the world, and I don't have that, then there's something wrong with me. Because if it exists, I want it. And so that, I'll use the word, jealousy of that energy, of that archetype, could make you feel less than. With all that being said, with acknowledgement that yes, certain people are not meant to level up alone in the exponential rate. Yes, you will be successful on your own. Yes, you will have all the things that you need. You can have a perfectly abundant, wonderful timeline on your own. This is not for everybody. This is just a dialogue. But some people, some souls on this planet chose to not level up until they meet and they are together. It's also a wonderful discussion of no, I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole. I'm going to stay on point. With all that being said, that is not, they were both ready. When this happens, both of your souls feel ready for that exponential growth, to grow with that person, and to not be, this is actually the incorporation of what I was going to say, alone in the tower at the top. The two of them, and I'm just really using them as a reference point, but you could talk about really any divine partnership that went from, I'd say, perceived rags to riches alongside of each other. Maybe they work together, maybe they've created companies together, but I'm using this as an archetype. Both of them are so specific that they have to be at that space with each other. They support each other, they know each other, they love each other, and one can't be without the other, but they're both whole in and of themselves. It's beautiful and it's powerful. And it's kind of have you ever seen that joke of the puzzle piece that's going on the date, but it's every single little intricacies, and the two puzzle pieces that are normal puzzle pieces are sitting on the couch, and they're so it wasn't a match for you? And you're your specificity, the intricacies of who you are, can match with another in this earth school, on this plane. It's very, just listen to the guides. We get to decide what it is that we want. When it comes to this couple, Layla and Alex, they were both going to create something regardless of the partnership. They were it's like when you're not looking for someone is when they come, but you have to be so hyper focused on your goals. There's also, I don't know if I can find it, but it's this one. I think I can find it. This video that I saw of another divine couple that had met, gone through many seasons together. There were seasons of polyamory, all different things. And then they found each other and leveled up together. And now they both have their mission in this world. So I'm going to offer that. I don't know either of their names. Marcus something. But a very interesting conversation. And it was basically like really discussing, it's not me feeling less than needing you and that you fill this for me. Or it's, what is the phrase that they used? It's not us versus the world. We're in our own little container and we're going to remove ourselves from the planet and we're going to remove ourselves and it's just us. But when you're supposed to inspire others as a divine couple, like Layla and Alex and like the two of them, if you're meant to be those archetypal divine couple, that will happen on this planet. That will happen. If when you visualize that partner, that person, and you say, yes, that's me, I feel that. And I feel like, I'm going to meet my partner and they're going to be, entrepreneurially mindseted. I don't even know if those were words. They're going to really be focused on that and they're going to be building their empire. They're going to be doing things. There's a whole other discussion about being in your masculine and sinking into the feminine and being in your feminine and then really nourishing the masculine. Whole other conversation. I'm not talking about that. But if in your mind's eye, you see, actually, I am going to talk about that a little bit, a very divine partner. Are you the partner that is standing next to them? Meaning, that Dr. Joe, very, very famous phrase, like if you, are trying to attract a partner, write out all the things that you are looking for in a divine partner and then go become it. There was also a perspective that I really liked and appreciated, which is write out that whole list. Could be feminine, could be masculine, doesn't matter. And say, okay, this is that person. What type of a partner are they going to be attracted to? So you have a, female that, how do I say? I'll speak from my statements. I'll speak from the female perspective. So interested in a very divine masculine partner. I'm not going to attract a very masculine partner if I am more in my masculine. Vibrationally, that's just not going to cut it. So for me to experience that, end of the spectrum, I have to go more onto the feminine side of the spectrum. Energetically, that's the way that it attracts. If you are keen to attract a divine feminine partner, you best be in your divine masculine. That's just the way that it goes. And that's just the way that energy works. Again, these are my perspectives. You might not have the same perspective. That's totally okie dokie. But yes, I do. And I think I mentioned it in the soulmate video. I've seen people that have been together since middle school, high school. And they're like, that person, that's them. And they lived beautiful, incredible lives together and were just absolute angels in this world. And that was the role that they were meant to play. That's just the vibration of both of their hearts. But I have to say, for every single one of those couples that I've met and experienced, they were very self-aware, confident people, very jovial, and had their own lives, had their own experiences. It wasn't waking up and saying, what are you up to? Can I join you today? Can I just hang out? They had their own social circles, their own lives, their own gals group, gentlemen's group, their own, work, if that was the thing. Not every single one of them work. A lot of the divine masculines that I've known that have been in very divine partnerships, the female does not work, does whatever she wants to do, but does it in a way that she's keen to give back. She's an active part of a community, does certain things in that capacity, and it's a beautiful thing, like the host and hostess type of an energy. So, is this person allowing me to be myself? Again, if you have a growth mindset and you're like, I'm going this way, I'm doing this, and I work on myself every single day, you are not going to be a vibrational match for someone that is not taking care of themselves in any capacity, whether it's divine masculine and divine feminine. It doesn't matter if the divine feminine works. It doesn't matter in any capacity. You could run your own life, your own company, your own spiritual entrepreneurship. That doesn't matter. But being in that feminine softness and safety is very important, is very, very important. And knowing that I'm taking myself to the gym. I have my self-care routines. I flow with my moon cycle. I flow with the cycles of the moon. I flow with my flow cycles. I'm intuitive and I can't always do things in that way. I have my sensitivities, but I'm self-aware. I don't take them out on other people. Do you know what I mean? I think it's hitting. Is this person allowing me to be myself? Okay. The last thing I want to talk about is friends as soul matches, because as relationships are drastically changing, I think it's important for us to recognize that friends are soul matches, friends are soulmates. We have people that come and go out of our lives, the people that we surround ourselves with, and friendships can become one of the only type of relationships, like after dating. When you marry someone, then you're like legally bound to them or soul bound to them, but it's all our choice. Having a friend, being a friend with someone is an act of choice. You don't have to be friends with anyone. There's nothing that says you are bound to this person. So I didn't write down the entire comment, but the thing I learned is it doesn't matter if the person is a soulmate or not. Work needs to be done most of the time, even if the people are soul matches. I kept working on myself and this person kept themselves stuck. So this comment is in the Soulmates video that's linked below. Definitely go check that out. And it was talking about how, yes, friends are soulmates, soul matches. And again, when I say soulmates, I talked about twin flames. It's not a language that I utilize. I don't think it's applicable in this. Actually, I'll talk about twin flames and the tarot, because that's maybe, I don't know. I kept the tarot open just to talk about those for a second. So when it comes to friendships, and when it comes to, so this person was talking about they had a friend, definitely soulmates, definitely were aligned, definitely had past lives together. And she's drawn to my content, the Multidimensional Caffè, has a growth mindset, is working on themselves, and recognize that I'm working on myself and this person is not. Once that becomes unaligned, we have to say, I cannot carry you. I cannot stay in a codependent relationship with you, nor can I become your therapist in any capacity. There's an image that I had when I was, leaving a relationship in the past. And it was something that I would mention in his therapist's office. We would go to his therapist's office, and I mentioned this relationship in that other video, and it was just unhealthy. I'm just going to say that. And the image that I would give to this person was, we were both just walking down the road of our life. And when I first met this person, they were not like ahead of me, but like I looked up to them. I was very inspired by them. And we're walking down the road of our life, and then we're side by side, and we're working on ourselves. We're doing great. And then I recognized that I'm walking and I'm like, come on, run your own race. You got this. And that, I'm walking, but I'm looking back a lot. And then I recognized that it's like, I'm stopping on the road of my life to try to get you to come along with me. I'm trying to pull you. I'm trying to say, come on, we're going this way. Why aren't you coming with me? This is key. We are not a vibrational match for that person anymore. We know this. They are also not a vibrational match for us. So it's not about us saying, I'm working on myself and you're not working on yourself. It's saying, I'm going this way and you're going this way. We sometimes forget that there are every single billions of us on this planet, that there are lives going on that we don't see. So it's not like when we leave a room, there's a whole other perspective on this. I totally get it, that if you're not looking at it, it loads on demand. So I get it. I do quantum channeling. I got 5 screens open from galactic views. So I get it. But as far as this conversation is concerned, that person is going to live their lives completely, just without you in it. So we have to recognize I took as much as I could from you. I've given as much as I can from you. We're just not a vibrational match anymore. And that is okie dokie. That is okie dokie. That is a celebration. I want us, to the best of our abilities, to celebrate the endings of relationships as much as we celebrate the beginnings of relationships. Finding ways to say, we've experienced something together. That's amazing. Thank you. Like, we buy the flowers even though we know the bouquet will die. We buy them. So everything has a life cycle. Life is more precious because it ends. So really asking yourself, is this person allowing me to be myself? Definitely. But does this person match my values? I'm working on myself. That's going to be totally different from the way that you work on yourself. What are your top 5 values? And do the people around you have similar values? It doesn't mean they have to have the same belief systems, but they're allowing you to have your world as I am allowed to have my world. It's really something that I've noticed when it comes to friendship ends. And there's an Instagram account that I'm going to put below as well. Tons of resources for you on this. And just recently talked about friendship breakups. And this is not a spiritual account in any capacity. And it's something that I really recognized when I moved and when I've, ended friendships in the past, whether I ended it or the other person ended it, is that it stings. It doesn't matter if it wasn't aligned. It is painful. It doesn't feel good. And really recognizing, like, there's no way to prevent the feelings, I was going to say the pain, but the feelings that come with it. But really looking at, when did it go from that resounding yes to that, I don't really know. I don't really know about this. I don't feel good about this. I don't really want to show up. I don't really want to be there. I can't be my full self. I can't be my full self. And I do talk about that a little bit in the Soulmates video. But really, you're allowed to have as much intricacy as you want. One of my dearest friends, we have a call every single week. If you're watching this, I love you. I love you so much. And we've individually gone through many seasons in the past of individually acting a foot in our own minds, but also going through, I was a part of a relationship, a friendship that was not healthy for me. I knew that. I participated in it, all these different things. And so we really started the conversation of, like, what does a healthy relationship look like now? A healthy friendship. We're talking about friends, so let's really talk about friendship right here. Whereas if I said, as a channeler, I'm only going to surround myself with people that can channel like me, and that's the only type of friend that I'm ever going to have. If you don't channel, then you're not allowed in my energy. It'd be a pretty lonely world. It really would. And so I now have the mindset that as much as I pour into you, you are pouring into me. I'm creating a safe container for you to express yourself, and you're creating a safe container for me to express myself. It's not ever going to, in the same way that we're all different types of shiners and X-Men and oracles and seers, we're never going to find the exact same type of channeling, the exact same type of thing. So saying, with my friends, I give so much, and I listen, and I care, and I'll read charts, and I'll offer all of whatever it is that I have, I will offer to you as a friend. And so I ask for the same space to be held for me. You don't have to understand what it is to see the way that I see, but you can hold a container for me. You can hold space for me. And so this gets into a whole nother conversation of empaths and, intuitive guides and intuitive creators and givers, that you can hold space for pretty much anybody, but not everybody can hold space for you. So it's okay to have boundaries with your relationships and keep your inner circle people that you can really feel safe calling up and saying, hey, can you hold space for me for a few minutes? I really need to talk about some things. And they could say, absolutely, yeah. Do you want advice, or do you want me just to hold space for you? Whatever you need. You're like, I need to vent. If you have a few ideas, oh my God, absolutely, my guy, my friends, like tell them to me. But I just need to be open and vulnerable right now and share that. You're worthy of people holding you. You're worthy of those types of conversations. You're worthy of those types of friendships. I'm going to circle back, because when it comes to the vibration and being a match, a vibrational match for someone, if you are not, let me rephrase, if you are in friendships and vibrations that do not match your energy, I just say like it's 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10. That's energetically what you're going to continue to attract in your world. 8 out of 10 parking spots, 8 out of 10 opportunities, 8 out of 10 clients, an 8 out of 10 work environment, an 8 out of 10 living situation, 8 out of 10 everything. If you tell the universe, I'm good with 8 out of 10, the universe is going to say yes. When you say, I have self-compassion, I'm taking care of myself, I'm falling in love with myself, I'm enjoying the time I spend with myself, and that's most important, that's giving yourself 10 out of 10. That's saying, I can't have conversations with people that are not equally doing that. It is okay to say, I'm this energy, and this person can't hold that for me. You're allowed to have boundaries. I implore you to have boundaries. Because when you decide to work with this and work on this, you will attract others that are doing the same. Friends, otherwise, friends, soul matches, soulmates, partnerships, animals, otherwise, whatever it may be. Job opportunities, clients, whatever it may be. But those boundaries are very important. Even knowing. There was someone that had commented, and I didn't write this comment down, talking about how I know this relationship or this friendship is not aligned. I'm not reaching out again, or I'm not, it wasn't like a full ghost situation, but it was like, I'm just letting it be. And that's also another key term, is like, if you stopped reaching out to that person, are they going to reach out to you? Or, there was an old friend many seasons ago that I was always listening to, but as soon as I put like my stuff into the text thread, it would be like not read for a very long time. And I was like, this doesn't feel equal. This doesn't feel good. This doesn't feel good. So when you start to really recognize this isn't a vibrational match for me, you can do it in the spiritual realm. You can cut those ties. If you're keen for more of a deep dive into that, please comment that below and let me know, and we can start to do some spiritual work around this. We can cut some ties to that and really I would just start with journaling. I would start with like, what are my values? What do I expect from myself? Because if you expect self-compassion, and if you expect the I statements, and if you expect I'm allowed to be myself, then that we mirror in the people around us. And those can be our not goalposts, I don't want it to be something that we're working towards, the lanterns on the path of life that just say, oh, this feels nice and warm. This feels aligned, and really trusting our bodies there. The twin flames in the tarot. So I have 2 decks. It's fascinating because in every deck, it's either the lovers or the lover. This is about a choice that needs to be made. See how he's deciding between the 2 people. This is a choice. In this one, the feminine is looking up to the angel, where the masculine is looking here. It's a choice. This is the Gemini card as well. So I really want us to honor, again, going back to the very beginning of free will versus divine will. And we're talking a lot about this with the new moon in Taurus that's coming up, but this is way bigger than the astrology, but we're saying, like, if what you are calling in is not fully clear or is anxiety producing, go above it, around it, below it, to the side of it. What on earth do you mean, Sarah? I don't know where I'm supposed to live. I don't know the job I'm supposed to have. I don't know if the relationship that I'm in is the right relationship. I don't know if this friendship is the right one for me. How am I supposed to call something in if I don't really know? I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow. What am I supposed to do? When you call things in, all of my relationships are healthy and aligned. I live in the healthiest home. I have an abundant job where I'm supported and I grow at all times. I have the greatest relationship with myself. I have compassion for myself. I'm learning to love myself, and I'm enough in this moment. Those go above. It's not saying this is the person that I'm supposed to be with. I've attracted my divine partner. Because then we can get into the, well, it doesn't happen. It didn't happen by the time I said it was going to happen. This is where we blend free will and divine will to divine time, in perfect time and with perfect trust. Can we trust and find, I want to say love, can we find the love for ourselves in the journey? Can we have compassion for ourselves in this moment and compassion for the people around us while also having safe and healthy boundaries? To say, if I'm allowing myself to be myself, is this person allowing me to be myself? And also, am I allowing that person to be themselves? I think I mentioned this in the soulmate video. I've also seen very divine partnerships that have met. The two that I'm thinking of had to do with substance abuse issues. So they met basically, and they both ingested spirits, cannabis flower, whatever it may be. Both of these couples don't know each other. Met drinking. Both decided together to get sober. Both upgraded together to be in that more like the Layla Alex type of an energy field, where we met and it was 10 out of 10. And then we both recognized that, like, not that I don't like you drinking, but I can't do this anymore. I want to get sober. And then that person says, oh my God, me too. So you elevate together. So you continuously stay 10 out of 10. I met this person as, an alcoholic or someone that ingests spirits. 10 out of 10. I'm now the person that is overcoming an addiction. I am too. 10 out of 10 match. I am now a person that is sober, and it's kind of like, I'll speak from waitressing or waitering in the industry or the service industry. It's kind of like when you're in the industry, you work nights, you kind of need someone that you're dating to be in that industry, because you don't get it unless you get it. And so when you leave that industry, you're not really as aligned with those people because, like, you don't work nights anymore. So you basically don't have the same schedule. So it's like when you go through, actually, I don't think that was the right parable for that. When you go through these stages of, I love myself, I'm 10 out of 10, and even also recognizing that both of those couples, they were 10 out of 10, even with themselves being imperfect in their mind's eye now. You know what I mean? I'm going to check in with my guides because there's like 30 other things that I want to say. And this might just continue with another video. Yeah, they're saying it's okay to end right now. I'm just checking my notes. Yeah, this is really an open conversation around the energy we hold and the connections we call in. I have to be honest, I was chatting with ChatGPT about this. So this is a comment from ChatGPT. I can't not tell you that. I did not make this line up, but it's slapping. Okay. Let this video be a space to pause, reflect, and realign with the kind of love you're actually available for now. I didn't realize that until this moment, so I really love that. What am I actually available for right now? If I'm in a season of life that I can't find something that, it was a question that I asked a little bit ago that really struck me as interesting, which was, it was a few seasons ago, I was matching with the astrology, and I asked my community to find one thing that they loved about their physical body. about your human avatar, the vessel, the home, the mansion, the divine palace that you get to reside in. And many people couldn't think of anything, couldn't think of an attribute in the physical body that they loved about themselves. So if we are in a place without judgment or needing, if that's where we are, there's no person outside of you that is going to fill that hole. There's nobody outside of you that's going to love you in a way that makes you love yourself. And it's sometimes, I'm not calling you out, Cancer, but I'm highlighting this because it's come up in the astrology a whole bunch, but I'm not calling you out. But a lot of the times in the all signs readings for Cancer rising especially, there's so much beauty happening. There's so much abundance. There's so much intense like success that's like screaming for you. And that at the end of each video, I'm like, I love you. I can see you and I'm excited for your growth. But I can't scream at you. And I say this in all the videos. I can't get you to love yourself. I can't scream at you how worthy you are unless you decide. Unless you decide. And we all have Cancer in our chart. So it's like, look to where Cancer falls in your chart. And maybe that could be a little bit of a space. We had that Mars in Cancer retrograde. We've been out of that. So it's like, really looking at that. Mars is in Leo now as I'm recording this. But really reminding yourself, what kind of the love are you actually available for now? And that's it. This is not a judgment. This is not there's no time that's perfect. But if you're keen to have a divine relationship, please start with the relationship with yourself. Start here. Before you even ask yourself if you have a soulmate or a twin flame or whatever that may be. Start here. Start at home. Start in the vessel that you get to reside in. Your consciousness, in my practice and perspective, your consciousness said, that's the soul. That's the avatar. That's the human body that I want to reside in. And was like, this is going to be awesome. This is perfect. I can't wait to live this human's experience. This is the best thing ever. Perfect parents, perfect this, perfect situation for everything that I get to do in this world and everything that I need to experience and learn from. That's the human avatar. That's the one. Perfect astrological chart, perfect everything, perfect time period, perfect year that I'm born, perfect life path number, the whole thing. It's just, that's the perfect one. If it wasn't, you'd be in another body. If your life wasn't perfect in this moment, you'd be somewhere else. So I ask you to really reflect on this. How are you feeling? How does this make you feel? How do you feel inside yourself? What was it? Is this person allowing me to be myself? That's something you can ask you as well. Truly. And as leaders, this is a whole other conversation for another day. But there are moments that I have to recognize, like, Sarah, you've done enough. And then I'll be like, but should I record another video? Should I process something else? What else can I do? I could edit. I could do this. And I'm like, no, precious projector. You just take a shower now, wash that whole day off your face, and you've done enough. And my consciousness is allowing Sarah the Avatar, actually it's even Sarah the Avatar, allowing Sarah the Avatar to be herself and be in what you're in. Say, you've done enough today. And I trust God. God, take the wheel. Take over. Bring me what is most aligned. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. I love every single one of you, and I'm so grateful for this conversation. This is really starting an unexpected series of videos. I feel like there will probably be a part 3. Please let me know how this lands for you. Please always share your perspective. This is opening up a container for a dialogue. That's it. That's it. These are perspectives that have come through. This is me sharing comments. This is my perspective on those comments. But know that I've said this before and I'll say it again. There are no living gurus on this planet. There's some people that are meant to be leaders. Some people are meant to be on certain stages. Some people are meant to be content creators. It doesn't ever mean that that person is better than or know more than you or is doing something that you yourself cannot do. So know that. So know that. I'm proud of you. This was so much fun. I could talk about this for hours. And so please ask more questions, share your comments, share your perspectives, share this with someone else, invite them to the cafe, subscribe to the channel, please. Like there's infinite seats at a multidimensional cafe, and we're all really enjoying this wild ride, just creating new earth together. So it is a joy, it is a privilege, it is my absolute honor to be here with you. I love every single one of you. I respect you. I'm just so incredibly grateful to be a vibrational match for you in this time and space. It's a privilege. Have a beautiful day, and more requests for this. I will do a part 3. We'll continue this series, but it's a big theme. It's a big theme. So know that you're not alone in what you're experiencing. Know that it is uncomfortable. Know that it might be painful. Know that it might be extremely emotional, gut-wrenching emotional. But we're doing this holding hands. We're supporting each other. So I love you. I will see you soon at the cafe. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day. Bye, my dears.